Every movie I begin, it's scary. It's scary because it's an adventure, and I don't know what's going to happen on the film.
Before he built dinosaurs, UFOs, or stormed Normandy, he watched, obsessively. And it wasn't fame or money that pushed Spielberg to pick up a camera. It was 6 films, 6 visions so powerful, they rewired him. He's directed some of the most iconic movies of all time. But ask Spielberg who shaped him, and the answers aren't what you expect. They're not trendy, they're not safe, they're not even similar. These films are quiet obsessions, ones he returns to over and over, because they didn't just inspire his shots, they built his storytelling soul. 6. Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. Some films don't just impress a young director, they haunt them. Spielberg saw Lawrence of Arabia at 16. He walked out with a new brain. Endless desert shots, dissolves like scalpels, epic scale, but personal collapse. It was the first time I understood what a movie could be. It wasn't just a war story, it was a psychological unraveling. Every wide shot in Saving Private Ryan, every quiet frame in Munich, echoes David Lean. Spielberg even helped restore the film decades later, because this wasn't just influence, it was a blueprint. 5. 2001. A Space Odyssey, 1968. Spielberg admits it. He doesn't fully understand this movie, but that's why it owns him. Kubrick didn't guide, he dared. No answers, just awe. It blew my mind, and it still does. To Spielberg, this film didn't make space thrilling, it made it terrifying, empty, cold. You can feel it in Minority Report, in AI, even in Close Encounters. Kubrick was the opposite of Spielberg, distant, detached. But that contrast pulled him in deeper. He was my oracle. They never collaborated in life. But 2001 is the ghost in Spielberg's machines. Number 4. A Guy Named Joe, 1943. No aliens, no war, no special effects. Just a strange, romantic story about a dead pilot helping the next guy take his place. Spielberg saw it as a child and sobbed. It hit me like a thunderbolt. This wasn't about plot. It was about feeling. Love, loss, redemption. All told through something magical. He loved it so much, he remade it. Always, 1989. Critics didn't care, but Spielberg did, because this film didn't teach him how to direct. It reminded him why. 3. Fantasia, 1940. He didn't know how to explain movies yet, but he knew how they sounded. Fantasia wasn't just a film, it was a hallucination. Music and images blending into pure rhythm. It was the first time Spielberg understood that story didn't need words, just feeling. You can hear it in Close Encounters. The alien notes, the rising score, that emotional swell. Fantasia taught me that story isn't what characters say. It's what the music feels. Even today, Spielberg talks about Fantasia like it's magic, because that's exactly what it was to him. Number 2. The Godfather, 1972. I wanted to quit. That's what Spielberg said after watching The Godfather. The shadows, the silence, the power of stillness. Spielberg admitted it. I'll never be that good. But he learned something deeper. Restraint. Tone truth. You see it in Schindler's List. In Munich. Even if he didn't match it, he let it slow him down and make his shots mean something. Sometimes influence is envy, and Spielberg knew what he was chasing. Number 1, It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. Not a war film, not sci-fi, not a spectacle. Just a man, a town, and a breakdown. Spielberg calls it everything. The first movie that made him believe, not in Hollywood, but in stories. When he saw it, he wasn't analyzing. He was holding his breath. I cried harder than I ever had in front of a screen. The small courage, the quiet stakes, the belief that tiny choices can change the world. That idea became Spielberg. In E.T., in The Fabelmans, in every story about hope with a shadow. Capra didn't just direct a movie. He passed on a philosophy. And Spielberg never let it go. 6 films, none of them safe, none of them obvious. But each one changed the way Steven Spielberg told stories. Not just in visuals, but in feeling. Because behind every lens, every blockbuster, every alien or soldier, is a kid in a theater, sitting still, watching a movie that made him believe. So now the question is, what movie did that for you?